As an organisation, we are utterly shocked and angered by last night's brazen and calculated attack.
What happens when a notorious hitman is released from prison? The recent news of Kinahan Cartel Hitman Jonathon Keogh's release has left many wondering about the implications of his freedom. How did he get to this point? What led to his conviction? And what does his release mean for the criminal underworld? To find out, join us as we explore the shocking story of Jonathon Keogh and his turbulent criminal past. Here we begin. Over the last decade, the Irish Kinahan Cartel has emerged as one of the most powerful criminal organizations, allegedly involved in murder, drug trafficking, and terrorism for over 20 years. The group was founded by Christy Kinahan during Ireland's economic boom in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Initially, the group began as a street gang of heroin traffickers in Dublin's inner city, but rapidly spread its wings internationally to become a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. Christy Kinahan, the group's founder, had a history of criminal activity that ranged from auto theft, burglary, and handling stolen goods to forgeries in the late 1970s. He was the group's direct leader before his son, Daniel Kinahan, took control. Since then, Irish courts have found the gang responsible for the murder and international trafficking. One of the most notorious members of the Kinahan cartel is Jonathon Keogh, a convicted assassin serving a life sentence for the murder of Gareth Hutch. After threatening two guards, he was recently expelled from Midlands Prison on January 26, 2023. Keogh has a history of violent outbursts and clashes with other inmates, including Gary Thompson, another hitman for the cartel, who is currently detained in Dublin Prison. Security personnel at the Dublin prison where Keogh is being held are on high alert due to his violent past. Keogh was moved to the prison from Port Lloyd's prison in 2021 due to threats he had made against another officer. He has been described as a bully and a thug who wants to run the organization and threatens others when he doesn't get his way. The job of a prison guard is already challenging enough without dealing with threats from inmates like Keogh. He has had clashes with a few of the other Kinahan members since he is somewhat erratic. Administrative reasons led to his transfer to Dublin, where his influence will be less significant. Finally, Regina Keogh and Thomas Fox were convicted of an offense related to the Kinahan cartel, further highlighting the organization's criminal activities. In May 2016, Dublin's Avondale House Apartments became the site of a horrific murder. KIA and other individuals shot Gareth Hutch 4 times, firing the fatal rounds. The judge found KIA guilty of the murder, and it was revealed that some of the partygoers were friends with the killers. One individual who was unaware of the party's deadly purpose was Kevin Murray, known as Flat Cap Murray. Murray was not involved in anything and did not feel threatened at the party, but unbeknownst to him, he was in the company of Regine and Jonathon's friends, who were connected to the killers. Later, it was discovered that Murray was a part of the crew responsible for killing gangster David Burke, who had identified targets for the Kinahan Mafia. In response, cartel members attended Burke's funeral and listed targets, including Murray. KIA, highly linked to the Northern Ireland Loyalist Association, offered to go to Murray's home in Count Tyrone and follow his whereabouts. Despite knowing Murray's poor health, they were keen to assassinate him since he was connected to the Regency Hotel shooting. However, KIA ultimately chose not to participate in the plot due to concerns about being imprisoned by the police service of Northern Ireland. Murray was merely one of Kinahan's targets for the Mafia's top murder. The group responsible for Burke's murder included dissident Republicans and was found to have links to the Regency Hotel shooting. KIA was eventually given a sentence at the Special Criminal Court for the murder of Gareth Hutch. Murray was a self-proclaimed Republican driven by financial gain rather than ideology. Despite his association with the A-Hand gang, Murray was nothing more than a cowardly killer present when his brother and his sister were imprisoned. He was paid a bonus of €100,000, along with fellow hitman Eamon Cumberton and others, to find more targets and to locate the whereabouts of Kevin Flat Cap Murray. It has been revealed that the hitman, who knew INLA member Gerard Mackey, had initially joined the terrorist organization but was later promoted to terror gang enforcer in 2009. Hill, who participated in INLA marches and color parades, offered his services after David Byrne was murdered, despite the conflict between the INLA and Kinahan. To prove his commitment to the Kinahan mob's plan to target Hutch's family members, Freddie Thompson enlisted INLA hitman Mackey to kill Eddie Hutch. The Kinahan cartel employed multiple contract killers, including Mackey, who had access to more than 100 firearms and rounds of ammunition. Mackey also enlisted his sister Regina and close friend Thomas Fox, in his efforts to go after the Hutch family and their allies. Both Regina and Fox were in prison for life for their roles in the hits. Fox, who has connections to organized crime gangs throughout the city, was not regarded as playing a significant role, but was chosen by Mackey for his first murder because of his acquaintance with the North Inner City. Fox had 105 prior convictions and was charged with 51 offenses between 2001 and this year, including trespassing, disobedience of the law, criminal damage, and questionable gun possession. Their victim, Eddie Hutch, was attacked soon after they warned Lord Mayor Niall Ring that his life was in danger. The Guardian conducted a 2-year investigation into the North Inner City terrorization between 2001 and 2016 and uncovered shocking details. Murray, who claimed to be a Republican, was motivated by financial gain and was a cowardly killer. He was associated with the Hand Gang and was present when his brother Michael was killed and his sister was imprisoned. He and his fellow hitmen, Eamon and Convert, received a bonus of €100,000 to find more targets, including discovering Flatcap's whereabouts. They were contracted by the Kinahan Cartel to target the Hutch family members. Multiple contract killers were employed, including the gangland hitman who had access to more than 100 firearms and ammunition rounds. Keogh was promoted to terror gang enforcer in 2009 after participating in Inla marches and color parades. He was chosen to kill Hutch to prove his commitment to the Kinahan mob's plan. Fox was enlisted as the gang's BMW driver, and Regina was involved in the hits. Despite his lengthy criminal history, Fox was chosen for his first murder because of his acquaintance with the North Inner City. He had been charged with 51 charges between 2001 and this year and has 105 prior convictions. The Guardian's investigation also revealed that the hit team was listed as a suspect a few hours after the murder of Gareth Hutch. Fox was the first person taken into custody, and Regina Keogh and their close friend Mary McDonnell were also arrested. McDonnell was shielded from prosecution after assisting Gaddy in the killing year until he was found in the UK. The investigation involved detectives from the North Central Division and U District Detective Square, officials from the Gardaí Technical Bureau, the National Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and Forensic Science Ireland. Officers conducted 64 interviews, 650 to 850 lines of questioning, 19 searches, and 64 firearm seizures. In addition, they studied 40,000 hours of CCDV and seized 19 phones. After the investigation, Keogh was the third senior member of the Kinahan cartel to be jailed for murder, following Fat Freddie Thompson and Comfort. Gotti, who witnessed Keegh's terrorization of the North Inner City, was apprehended in London in June 2017 after being charged with 44 offenses and found guilty 22 times. He was identified by the UK's National Crime Agency after registering for an online passport. His harshest punishment came from a 2009 conviction that resulted in an 8-year prison term for possessing explosives under dubious circumstances and belonging to an unlawful organization. According to reports, the victim of the murder, Gareth Hutch, had expressed concerns that the notorious Kinahan gang, led by Christy Dapper Don Kinahan, had put even his young child at risk. He had even requested to relocate from his apartment on North Cumberland Street to Dublin's North Inner City. Unfortunately, he could not deliver his confidential letter to council officials as he was brutally attacked and murdered. The police identified the two suspects responsible for the murder through CCTV footage. In the footage, two individuals can be seen running towards Gareth Hutch, who had just gotten out of his car with weapons and masks. The killers seemed oblivious to their victim's presence and attacked him in broad daylight outside his flat. So what do you think of the hitman Jonathon Keogh's release from jail? Comment below and subscribe for more such videos. See you soon!